You ever wonder what we like so much about lists? Or you ever have trouble with them? Yeah, because, there's no definitions. They don't tell you anything. And they have these really strange words that the word is not being used the way you normally think about it, right? I mean, only advanced students ever probably are going to come to the list of lists, to test down for a list. What list should I work today? Because I'm like, oh no, I don't understand them, God. And you see, if you've noticed, because you're probably an advanced student if you're on this movie, okay? So you have probably noticed that we have set up this entire college this way. Yes? Do you notice that? Like the entire college is set up like it doesn't explain. There's no definitions. Now let me tell you, okay, I'll tell you something about this. Let's say you test down this list of lists and your finger moves on the list of entrance points. And by the way, this is where finger things come in really handy, because I do not get any particular feeling change, but I get this, I don't get any particular feeling change. I get this movement of my pinky, see, when I, like I'll ask a lot of rapid fire questions, and some people are disappointed because they only get they just get a little feeling, like they say, oh, there's a little sort of a pulsing in my index finger, and they think maybe that's not a very good signal, but actually it's a great signal, because what you want is the most minimal signal possible that takes the least amount of time possible. That's the best signal. See, people want this, oh yeah, my arm shot up like I was saluting Hitler, No, actually, you're better off with a really small, and you ask a lot of rapid fire questions. Like, I'll test down a list like this and I'll go like, whoop, like just that fast, And then I'll go voop, and I'll get a signal, and I'll go, wait a minute, where was that? It was somewhere in here. Oh yeah, okay, there it is. It was around here somewhere, because I'm going so fast. It could have been any one of 10 things, And then you just go back a little slower, and you go, oh yeah, this one. So suppose you get this signal on the list of entrance points, and you go on the list of entrance points. And the first thing you realize is you don't understand what the term means. Now, maybe, some people, it's self-explanatory to some people, they get it. But then others they're gonna go, okay, entrance points. And of course, we could have written under the title of the page, we could have written a definition of entrance points. Like we could have said, entrance points are places where bad things can get into you. Or, some such thing. And we would probably have limited your ability to understand what entrance points are by doing that. Because when you see that thing, you're going to get some kind of mental hit. And then what you do is, well, your mind will probably turn on too, and you'll probably go, I don't know what this means, I wonder what they mean by this. And you'll also get some kind of a mental hit like, Now, also you can look at the list and you go, oh, wait a minute, I see what they're talking about here, Yeah, okay. Because one of the entrance points, for example, is poetic justice. And we could have written a little thing, but so you get this hit on poetic justice, and you go, is that sort of like revenge? And you get a little signal, see? So what we're doing here, see, look, we're all accessing the same database, okay? You and me, because God is the database, right? And your spirit guide probably thinks a lot like my spirit guide does. Or you may be talking to the same angel I talk to or whatever. So we're all accessing this. It's the computer in the sky, your portable computer in the sky that's with you always. I should tell you a story about this. So, but I'll just finish that all you would do is you would say, okay, that hit I got, it's sort of like revenge, I get that, yes, but is it sort of like a really sort of mild form of revenge? And you get a signal on that, and you go, yeah, well, maybe, could it be that poetic justice, like you didn't take my advice, and now look what happened to you. Could that be what, well, there goes that little cute dog. Oh my God, scared the poop out of me. But anyway, her name's Abby. Anyway, so you say, okay, could that possibly be, like, look what happened to you after you didn't take my advice. Oh, I'm getting a big signal. Oh, wait a minute, would that be, that came into me when, with my friend so-and-so, I said, yeah, okay, look what happened to him. And so you start to realize that it isn't functional to try to train somebody by saying you didn't take my advice and look what happened to you. And also that it isn't functional to feel good or get some kind of a vicarious satisfaction out of that. There's something wrong with you, that you need to close this entrance point. See, so you go, okay, I'm now closing that entrance point. So I don't even notice it when, the person didn't follow my advice and look what happened to them. I just keep looking. I just tell them, well, look, let's try to identify what's dysfunctional about you and see if, you want to do anything about it. That's how, probably the only way you can really help people is just to say, do you want to identify what's dysfunctional about you? Do you want to see what your symptoms are? And you do this, it starts with you looking at what your symptoms are. How's that for an idea? Okay? And then you learn from that how to do it with other people. And so, entrance points are obviously where you contact the outside world. And see, this list, in 1 second you can go down the list and get an answer. But we have set it up like this because we intend for you to construct your own definitions of these terms. We want you to actually come up with what the thing means by accessing the database. We don't want to explain it to you. We experience that you will do a far better job than we could. And all of this, everything we do here, is about asking a higher power and getting an answer and understanding. So now I'll tell you a story. And see, now you sort of have a handle on this, and if you don't feel like listening to the story, you don't have to click on the next movie or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's also how I set this up, I try to say what you need to know in the first movie, and then if you really want to understand it better, you can click on the subsequent movies, you see. But if you feel like, I really understand this just fine, and I'm ready to get on with my day or get started on doing my work or whatever with the, curing, like find something that's going to cure me, then you just go on and do that. So that's great, But anyway, this is kind of a fun story. On the list of lessons, you'll find something called the whole life clearing. And I used to start people out, I used to start teaching them by having them do a whole life clearing, which they did in pairs.